Do the math with me. You see your mom twice a year, she's 72. Let's say she lives to 90. That's 18 years. 2 visits a year. That's 36 visits. You can count the rest of your time with your mother on your fingers twice. And then, you're out. And it's worse than 36, because the real number is smaller. And the reason will change how you look at every ordinary Tuesday for the rest of your life. Here's the trick time has been playing on you. Life feels infinite because we measure it in days. And days are cheap. We throw them away by the hundreds. But your time with a specific person isn't measured in days. It's measured in occasions. The countable number of times your life and theirs will actually be in the same room before one of you is gone. And occasions are rare, they're getting rarer. And there are far fewer of them left than the endless feeling days would ever have you believe. A man named David did this math one random Sunday. His mother was 72, healthy, living across the country. He'd always assumed he had forever. So he ran the numbers, 36 visits, maybe. Then came the colder thought. The later visits wouldn't be like the early ones. Some would include illness, frailty, hospital rooms instead of kitchen tables. The number of truly good visits might be 20. He sat very still. He thought he had his mother forever. He had about 20 more good afternoons. David didn't quit his job. He didn't move home. He simply started flying out 3 times a year instead of 2. And that Sunday, he called her. Not because it was a scheduled call Sunday, not because there was news, just to hear her voice. When she died, sooner than 90, the way it often happens sooner than the hopeful number, David wasn't crushed by regret. He'd spent his visits, he hadn't saved them for a later that never arrived. So, call your mom more. Obvious, except the math was never really about your mom. It's about a word you've been using to fool yourself. The word is later. You tell yourself the silence is temporary. You'll fix it later, you'll visit later, you'll call later, you'll reconnect later. But there is no later that gives the time back. Every season you stay silent isn't a pause. It's a subtraction. You had 30 visits left. Now you have 29, and you spent the one you lost on nothing. And here's the cruelest part. You almost never know which time is the last one. The last time you picked up your child and carried them, you didn't know it was the last. You just set them down one day and never picked them up again. You couldn't tell me which day it was. The last meaningful conversation with a friend before the drift, you thought there would be 1,000 more. There weren't. The last family dinner, the last long drive together, the last ordinary afternoon. They pass without announcing themselves, so stop waiting for a moment to feel precious before you treat it that way. The grand goodbyes are rare. The quiet last times are everywhere, disguised as ordinary Tuesdays. You only discover they were the last ones later. There is so much less time than you've been pretending. The empty chair in your life isn't just empty. It's emptying, in real time, by a measurable amount. Every year you leave it that way. So fill it now. Spend what's left on the people who matter, while there are still occasions left to spend.